We've seen improvement and changes to Amorim's sporting methods, but what exactly has been happening? This was Amorim's possession structure at Sporting, a tight back three with the sixes in front. To shift the defensive formation, they would pop the ball into midfield and move the ball quickly across the back line to find pockets in the half spaces. In addition, whichever side the ball was on, there was the same diamond possession setup made up of the outside centre-back, wing-back, 6 and 10. And this is the same setup on the other side. And this last example shows that Sporting had an even spread of players on both sides, emphasising the symmetry of their play. The better possession games United played last season employed the same setup, with the possession diamonds on both sides of the field. But there were times last season where I highlighted the issues this stretched out version of the back three had in isolating players and creating longer distances for the ball to travel, and how that contributed to teams easily squeezing us on the touchline. But little did I know, these were the first steps towards Amorim's new build-up possession setup. So the symmetry he employed at Sporting and what we saw at times last season has gone. In simple terms, Amorim overloads the left side, but maintains width on the right side with the outside centre-back, which has been Yoro, Mbeumo, and either Ahmad or Dalot. But what are the intricacies of the setup and how does it work? If we quickly go back to Sporting's build-up play setup, and at times United's last season, we can see it was very central and compact. If we look at how United feed the left side overload, the back three are stretched across the pitch. Even with a back three, the outside centre-back's position is more in keeping with a full-back. For me, Shaw shouldn't even be at United, let alone in the side. But with the outside centre-backs taking up more full-back positions, I can see why Amorim has picked Shaw over Heaven, even though I completely disagree with it. Now let's look at the composition of the overload. With the outside centre-back playing so wide, that changes the position of the wing-back. In this case, Dorgu regularly takes up high positions. We have a 6 on the edge of the half space, and the other 6 central, but this side. But the most interesting aspect of the setup is the position of Cunha in relation to the 10, Mount in this case. Cunha regularly takes up this position on Mount's shoulder to the point where they almost play like a front two. All this combined creates short passing connections to play through a press. Again, we have the left side overload, and the close proximity of Cunha to Mount is emphasised here. It's a lovely touch round the corner to play around Fulham's press, and there's the advanced position of Dorgu. And to show this has been consistent throughout the first 3 league games, we have the same left side overload, lots of potential passing connections, Cunha on Mount's shoulder, and some simple passing and moving gets United up the pitch. These left side overloads are a clear deviation away from Amorim's Sporting tactics. Now that we have established United's main progression point, when does the right side setup come into play? When progression down the left gets blocked, United will switch to play to the other side as a get-out ball, and we saw United utilise that a number of times against Arsenal with great effect, getting Mbeumo into some great positions. But there are times when the combinations down the left naturally take United that side. In this example shown earlier, Cunha takes a good touch, taking him infield, and this through ball is on if he doesn't get fouled. In this example, the ball breaks to Mount and he plays a lovely ball through to Mbeumo, making an outside to in run from the right. And against Burnley, Mount gets the ball on the left, getting to this position where he hits a decent ball over the top to Mbeumo. The final aspect of the right side is, with United targeting the left, the importance of Mbeumo and Ahmad getting into the box from that side. Dorgu is about to put the ball into the box for Mbeumo's header against Arsenal, and we can see Mbeumo attacking the box. As he is about to head the ball, Ahmad is also there, backing the back post up. This is the build-up to Cunha hitting the post against Fulham. As Dorgu plays the ball to Mount, Mbeumo is the furthest forward in the box. In this example, Ahmad is not quite up with Mbeumo, but gets there as the ball comes back off the post. There's no doubt we have seen an uplift in United's build-up play, but it's still a work in progress. Starting with the left side overload, the combinations are there, but sometimes the decision making is off in my opinion. In this example, Rice is slow getting across, leaving Cunha in a pocket. He's already on the half turn. The ball needed to go into him, but Shaw plays it to Mount under pressure. Shaw gets it back, and although this is an obvious pass to Dorgu, Arsenal have the numbers on that side. In my view, we should be looking to recycle back through the other centre-backs, but Shaw goes into Dorgu and we get squeezed. This is some nice build-up play, but as the ball comes into Dorgu, he has to recognise the run Shaw made from that pass and just pop the ball into the space, and Shaw is away. But there are new patterns, and the improvement from pre-season, let alone last season, has been significant. Moving on to the issues with the right side, with United overloading the left. When the ball comes out to the right, a lot of the time, United look unorganised. Compare what Yoro has in front of him with what Shaw had in front of him. There isn't a 6 on that side, and Mbeumo and Ahmad are on the same lateral line, meaning there's no depth or passing connections. As the ball gets to Ahmad, we can see United have in principle set up the possession diamond, but Casemiro isn't in a position to receive the ball, and it's just easy for Fulham to defend. This is against Burnley, and again we can see the contrast between what Yoro has in front of him compared to Shaw. Massive gap in front of Yoro. He plays the ball into Mbeumo, and we can see the lack of passing connections. Fernandes is on the same vertical line as Mbeumo, so he is out of the equation, and the number 8 cuts that pass off to Casemiro. Mbeumo goes back to Yoro, who tries a pass down the line, and we give the ball away. But when the passing connections are set up on the right, we can play good football. The diamond is set up much better here. Yoro plays it into Mbeumo, who then pops it off to Ahmad. But I love this exchange of positions between Mbeumo and Xerxes. Mbeumo makes the run, opening this pocket for Xerxes. A lovely 1-2, and we get into this position where Ahmad just overhits the pass. Some great football there. So, if we go back to the Fulham example, where Casemiro didn't get across quickly enough, and this example where he did, tactically, Amorim has to make sure that once that ball goes across to Yoro, whichever 6 is closest gets across to create the passing connections and to affect the opposition's defensive formation positionally. One of the other issues has been a lack of numbers in the box. As Mbeumo is about to put the cross in, we have 3 players looking to attack the box. In my view, at least one of the 6s should be attacking the box also. The argument might be they can't attack the box because they play a part in the rest defence, and yes, that might be the case. But a rest defence usually consists of 2 defenders hanging back with the striker who's been left up the field. And then the midfield, whether it's a 3 or a 2, only go as far as the next set of players, and you can say Fernandes and Casemiro have done that. But in this example, all 10 of Arsenal's outfield players are in the picture, with only 7 United players. That means our back 3 are out of the picture marking no one, so there is an opportunity for one or both 6s to hit the box. In this example, with Dalot about to put the cross in, we have 1 player in the box, and look at Zubimendi looking for someone to mark. But what I find annoying is Cunha not getting into the box more. He isn't an out-and-out striker, but he needs to get in there more. As Ahmad is about to play the ball in, Cunha is on the edge of the box. In my opinion, he needs to be on the penalty spot. And if he was, when the ball got to Sesko, it would have been an easy layoff and a good chance. We have another situation where we have the ball in a wide position with only Dorgu and Sesko in the box and Cunha again outside it. What this example shows is the issues not having an out-and-out striker in the team can bring. Cunha is going short for the ball. If that is a 9, they are running into the box, making the mind up of Ahmad to go on the outside to put a cross in. But as the ball goes into Cunha, look at the positioning of Mount and Mbeumo. It makes it easy for Burnley to defend them with 1 man because they are in each other's pockets. And even when the return ball goes back to Ahmad, they are in the same position. Now, I said this is a problem of not having a 9, but I've loved watching these 3 play together, and the positives outweigh the negatives in my opinion. I'm going to look at United without the ball, and in particular, United's front 3 press. Mount, Cunha and Mbeumo are excellent front foot defenders. In other words, they are really good at running towards the ball and challenging for it. This is a slight miscontrol, but the speed in which it is closed down nearly forces a turnover. This is a deeper position, but the speed of Mount and Cunha across the ground forces Fulham backwards. And the counter press has also been good. Hannibal has scanned and thinks he has time, but Mount is on him in a flash. Here we lose the ball, but the hustle from Mount and Cunha was great to win the ball back. Now, when it comes to what's behind the front 3 press, we have issues. The big issue is our system doesn't match up to most teams. We have an extra man at the back, and one less in midfield. So, rule 101 of the back three setup is the spare man at the back pushes up to stop midfield overloads. Now, some of you think that is too complicated for the players. Well, only if they are complete morons. If we look at this example, obviously the defensive line has the whole game in front of them. They see everything. So it's just a matter of concentration and the understanding that if you are not marking anyone and a player in front of you is unmarked, you mark them. Very simple. Yoro is aware that Rice is about to be free, with Casemiro stepping up onto Calafiori, and we can see that he has stepped out of the defensive line to prevent the overload. Now, within Burmo, shadow marking the passing angle into Rice, and with the ball looking like it's going over to the other side, Yoro drops back in. But as Gabriel chops back, Yoro steps back out with the pass into Rice on, and Rice puts his arm out to say, I don't want it. This is great play up to now by Yoro. As the play progresses, Yoro follows Rice out into a position Dalot would normally be in. But this is perfect execution of the back three system. The flow of the game took the spare man, in this case Yoro, out, but what's behind him is a solid backline with Dalot tucking in. This example showed how the overloads exposed United's decision making at times. Here, Shaw is the spare man, and if you want to be decisive, Shaw should go out to Saka and Dogu pushes up. However, because Gyökeres was dangerous running in behind, I can see why Shaw stayed there. If we run this on, we can see that United have tried to press, but for some reason, Cunha keeps going straight. He's looking that way and can see Zubimendi free. In my opinion, he has to drop back into midfield. With the ball about to go out to Arsenal's right, Dogu has to bust a gut to get there, but he's jogging. Not enough pressure on the ball, Zubimendi is free and Arsenal break one line and another line. I've done so much analysis on this last season and so far this season, so if you want more on this, look at those videos. The devil's verdict is, whether you are a fan of Amorim or not, or the system, the team have improved dramatically, especially with the ball. My stance is, give him the season and see where we are at the end of it. If we finish 6th with 60 points, that is massive improvement, and he stays. The expectations for this season need to be managed. The probability of United getting top 4 is nigh on impossible, so to judge him against that is unrealistic. To make a knee-jerk reaction now would be a mistake. We saw both Wolves and Palace have exceptional second halves of the season last year with the same system. Brighton had a good first half and poorer second half, so it's about where we finish at the end of the season. It's never going to be perfect from start to finish, so we need to stick with him when things are not going well. That doesn't mean we can't critique, as I did after the Fulham game, but we need to look at the long game. What is your opinion on Amorim and the start to the season? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.